Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon again. Here's Javier Rosa. I'm the co-founder CEO of Tago. Appreciate our time to attend our webinar today about how to integrate the Things Network with other provider with the TagoIO to create applications for IoT. Here today, you'll be recording this webinar, and that will be available for everyone to watch it later as needed. Also, we have our chat area here. Feel free to take a look and make any question that you have for us. We are going to be try to answer your question during the presentation, or also, of course, at the end of the presentation during the Q&A. So we're going to start today talk about TagoIO overview. Then we're going to be talking about the integration of TTN and Tago. We start from the basic one, talk about what TTN is. Then I'm going to be covering special options, what we call advanced fields. And of course, we're going to be building applications with dashboard and analysis as well. So first of all, Tago is a cloud platform to connect to your devices. It's composed by several systems that help you to build applications. We are a company located here in Raleigh, North Carolina, US, with offices and personnel in Brazil and applications in several countries. So what is Tago? Tago is a system that's composed basically by 5 key components. Let's say that you want to connect a device to your business. You want to extract information, let's say from a forklift, a generator, a thermometer, or so on. You need a sensor in the middle to get this information and send it to Tago. At the Tago, you have these components that basically the first one is the device and account management. From here, you can enable, disable the devices, you can check the status of the device and receive the data and send the data back to the devices. Then at the Tago, you can store all the data and everything is crypto and ready to be in a secure way so you can upload the data and download the data for your servers. Then you have something very interesting that we call analysis. That's an area where you can upload your scripts. You can have intelligence here. You can have simple things like convert temperature from one unit to another unit, or you can have specific mathematical equations, or you can run integration for other systems from the scripts. And we're going to cover this today. Then, of course, you have the visualization part. That's basically the dashboards. And dashboards here, as you're going to see later, is not only about gauge, graphs, and charts. You can add videos, and also you can add forms. For example, you can capture inputs from customers, users in real time. And the last part, of course, is the notification part. So you can set up emails, SMS, push notification to our mobile app, and you can run integration. You can send the data back to your server. You can run integration with other systems. There are a lot of features at Tago, but some that really differentiate us is easy to use. So we have, for example, the data retention. You can easily set up what you want to keep and how long you want to keep the data. Let's say you receive the data every 1 second and you want to keep the data for 1 day or 1 week, and after that you want to eliminate the data. All you have to do is define that you want to keep the data for 1 week, for example. We have the data backup, we have user management, we have audit logs, and other things that really go beyond the basic IoT solution. When you create account later, you're going to be you'll be able to see all these options available. Tago allows a lot of implementation, different verticals. A lot of them has been created because our developers, our customers, integrators have done such application. For example, we have an application for agriculture, cold chain management, for the government, for services, transportations, and so on. As I mentioned before, there are different features at Tago. Some of them are really made very simple to identify on the first page of our dashboard. For example, you can easily manage the users, the developers that will be building solutions to you. For example, you may have a team of 3, 4, 5, or more collaborators. You can define the data retention. You can share the dashboard publicly or privately. Okay, you can create a URL of the dashboard and send it to everyone and keep that for the time you want. You can remove it later, and you can integrate with other systems. Also, we have the mobile app available, so everything that you build in the dashboard is promptly available in the mobile app as well, without any need to make any deploy. So at a high level, how does it work? Tago is the central part of the IoT application, where we have the interface to collect data. The interface can be done in different protocols. For example, you can use MQTT, you can use HTTP, or other ways. So when you understand how the data can be sent, and we're going to show this in detail today, you can process the data and integrate it with other systems. So it means that you can expand your solution beyond the dashboard and beyond some notifications. For example, you can generate a new ticket at Zendesk when something goes wrong with your system, or you can create an opportunity to a CRM when you see opportunity to sell goods, because we can integrate this system internally with Tago, or Google Sheets, and Spreadsheet, Microsoft Flow, and so on. From here, internally, you can generate scripts to create reports in CSV files or PDF files, or you can even create maps. Everything can be done in real time with the script inside of Tago, so there is no need that you go outside and create additional services if that's covered by Tago. So let me talk a little bit about TTN, the Think Network. The Think Network is based on LoRa. Okay? So it's a great community that's brand new, roughly 3 years. So their mission is really to build an open, crowdsourced, and decentralized IoT data network owned and operated by its users. I think they speak by themselves, right? So if you are in a region that already has LoRa TTN coverage, that's great. You can connect your device directly. If you are in an area that there is no such coverage, you can build a gateway and connect to their network at no cost, and you can have your own network. So they are growing very quickly. They are in more than 95 countries. Right now, they have more than 4,700 gateways. I just checked this yesterday, and the community is really growing quickly. So I think we believe that with TTN, it's a great option for you to have your LoRaWAN device connected. And we integrate with them to make it very easy for you to get the data from the device and bring it to Tago. So here's a simplification of the connectivity between TTN and Tago. So basically, when Roberto later is going to talk about how to connect things, he'll be talking about the connector. And the connector is what you do in the connection between the TTN and Tago. So if you have your device that's in a coverage area of the TTN because you are using somebody else's gateway, or because you register your own gateway, you'll be able to send the data to Tago to process this data, showing the map, showing the chart, and so on. And if you want, you also can send the data back through TTN to your device. So that's what I'm going to show here today. So that was an introduction that I want to start this webinar today. So before I hand this presentation to Roberto, let me show you here how you can log into Tago. So first of all, you can go to TagoIO, click on sign up, and for free, you can use Tago right away and connect up to 5 devices and create up to 5 dashboards. Okay. Make sure that when you do that, because you're a developer, you select the option, I am a developer. When you do that, all the tools for developers will be available. So all the bucket, devices, database, analytics will be available for you. Okay. If you don't do this, you can always go later in your account and select the developer. The reason I do that is because the final users can also register at the tab and later use your application, but they will be like the simple user, so they are not going to select I'm a developer. So for you, please, when you sign up, make sure you select this option. Okay, now let me hand this webinar to Roberto so that he will start to talk about the integration, the TTN with the Tago. Roberto, please go ahead.
Thank you, Fabio. So, hello everyone, I am Roberto, and I am a software developer at TagoIO. In this webinar, I'm going to show you how to integrate your TTN account with your TagoIO account and register your devices. I'm going to show you, to share my screen. This is going to be a live demo. So, here, first of all, to create this integration, you need to create an account at Tago. As Fabio just showed you, you can go to tago.io and create an account and make sure you select the option I am a developer, so you have access to the developer tools. So this page here is the TTN console. Here you have your applications and your gateways and devices, and here we have the TagoIO console. We call it our admin. To start your integration, first of all, you need to go to the TTN console and go to your applications. My screen is like a few seconds behind me. Let me just, okay. So you have to click on applications. Here, if you don't have one application yet, you should create one. We have a few applications. So I will click here, select your application, and go to integrations. Let's just wait a second till the screen updates. Here in integration, you click add integration, and you scroll down and you see TagoIO. You click on Tago. You need to type some kind of process ID. It's a unique ID. I'm just going to type something here. And then you can have on lowercase. Okay, and then you have to select your access key and type in your authorization. This authorization is very important. It's not required, but it's very important that you type something in here. This is a secret text used by Tago to identify your device. If you don't type any authorization here and someone finds out your device EUI, they can add your device to their account. So this prevents for someone else to have access to your devices. So type some secret text here. I will type TTN Tago. And remember this because we are going to use this. If we type something here, we need to type the same thing while adding our devices. So I'll click here, add integration. Okay. In fact, let me just, okay. Then the integration process is done. This is all you need to do for each application. Let's say you have hundreds of devices in one application or thousands of devices. This is the only process you have to do for this application. And then you need to add those devices to Tago. So here in this application, I have 2 devices. Let me just refresh the page here. Here I have 2 devices that are sending data. In fact, one is. And one of these devices is already registered at Tago. I'm going to register the second device now. So to do that, we need to go to Tago, to devices, And here we need to click add device. So I'm going to click here. We have a few different kind of integrations. Let's just type TTN so we can add devices from the Things network here. And then let me type a name for this device. So I'm going to call this 501. It's 6AA in the end. Okay. So this is just some random name. I just put here at the end of the UI so I can know which device I'm talking about. In the UI, you can get the device UI here from TTN. So let me copy this and paste it here. In here, we have the authorization. This is the same text that you typed in your TTN integration. So if you don't remember the text, just go to Applications, go to your TTN integration here. I'm going just a little fast here. And then you can see your authorization here. So just use this, make sure you use the same authorization code. And then here, type the authorization code. In here, you can see some fields. You can choose which variables to save from TTN, and you can see all the variables in the advanced fields. So I'm going to save, just click Create Device here. Okay, and now your device is created. So if I close this, we can see the list of devices. So I have a Globosat L3, LT501, and two of those in fact. And one of them is already sending data. This is the LT501, and I just added the new one here. They're both the same device. Now, just a second. So the process that I just showed you to add a device, I'm going to click here again and type TTN. So this process should be done for every device. Let's say you have hundreds of devices in your account. You don't have to do this using the console as I'm showing you right now, the admin. I'm just showing you as this is a webinar, and then I'm showing you using the admin. But let's say that you have 1,000 devices or thousands of devices. You don't want to click here and do the same process for every one of those devices. What you can do, you can look at our documentation, or we can send you some examples. You can update your device and register your device from a CSV file. Let's say we have lots of devices. You just add what you want to save in that CSV, or you can add your devices on a spreadsheet, or we can make a dashboard that the person just types in the EUI and register, and it does all this process. It's just a matter of choosing how do you want to save your devices, to register your devices. So basically, just for you to know, it's possible to create a script to do all of that. And we have a lot of examples on how to do that. Okay, here, after we created the device, this device is now, every time that device sends data to Tago, this data, to TTN, this data is automatically sent to Tago as well. So if you go to your device here, let me click here. Let's say I have this device already sending data. Just wait a second for the screenshot right here. In here, we have the bucket. The bucket is where we store your device's data. So I'm just going to click here, open bucket. So every device that you have created automatically creates a bucket. In here, you can see the variables that are coming from your device. So in this case, I have battery, counter, date, decode, payload, and a few other variables over here. You can choose to remove these variables if you want. You can clean up your bucket. Let's say you are developing your application. And later, I'm going to show you how to ignore some of these variables or add more variables if you want. Okay. Now that we have data saved and sent from TTN to Tago, we need to display data to Tago. Before I display that data, I just want to show you, explain how the flow, how the data flow works at Tago. For example, here I have this device that is sending payload, and this payload is hexadecimal payload, and we are converting this variable, this hexadecimal, into normal variables, so that end users can understand those variables. I know that TTN offers something like that. You can create a payload decoder inside TTN, and if you do that, we already parse your variables, and your variables are automatically available at Tago. So, but I want to show you how to do that at Tago as well. Let's say you want to create an application and you want to parse your payload and add more functions to your parse during every time that your device sends data. So let me show you here. We have a help center. Let me just type parse here. I'm going to open this in a new page. Okay. This is a diagram that I want to explain to you so you can understand how the data flows to Tago. So basically here on the left, here, yes. Basically here on the left, you have your device. Let's say that your device sends data in raw payload format like this, like hexadecimal format. So your device sends data. This data is saved in a bucket. So it goes here. And this data also triggers an action. So if you follow here the next cursor, this action, it runs an analysis. And this analysis is basically a script that converts your payload into actual readable variables so that people can understand. And these variables are saved back in the bucket, and then you can show these variables in a dashboard. So basically, what it does, every time your device sends data, you can create this trigger and analysis. So if your device sends data, this data triggers an action. This action runs an analysis. This analysis converts this data and saves the new data back to the bucket. And this is done like in real time. Whenever your device sends data, in no time you will have your scripts run. And you can basically create any script that you want. Let's say you don't want to parse data. You want to create an integration with another application, or you want to run another script. You can run scripts from your application. From, let's say you have a CRM on your desktop or on your servers. You can integrate those applications. Whenever you receive data from TTN, you can run something on your CRM. Or back, if you want your CRM to send data back to your devices, that's possible as well. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, now that you know how the data flows and runs into Tago, let me just show you this in how it really does. Let's see. Here we have an action that was created for the device, the TTN device. This action, let me just wait a second so it loads. Okay, this action runs an analysis, and this action is triggered by the variable payload from the device GlobalSat LT501. So every time this device sends the variable payload, it executes, it runs the analysis. So here, if we go to analysis, you can see, let me just come here to parse. Okay, here we have the script. This is an actual script that runs on Node.js inside Tago. So you can see here that we do some calculations to the payload, and we put back these. We convert this data and send back to the buckets. And as I said, you can create different types of analysis. You can integrate with other applications. You can pull data from other applications as well. You can do basically anything that you can do in Node.js. You just need to code it here. And if you don't want to work with JavaScript or Node.js, you can run your scripts in any language that you want. You just need to have your service. You need to have a server that runs this analysis. It's possible to choose to run the analysis inside Tago or external from your computer. Okay. Now, let me create a dashboard here. Now that we have these device sending data and you know how the data flows inside Tago and parses this to different variables, let me create a dashboard and show you how to display that data. So I'm going to add a new dashboard and then I'm going to call it TTN device. Okay. Let me add a widget here. I'm going to add a dynamic table so we can see some variables. In here, yes, I'm going to select this device and I'm going to select the payload. We can add multiple variables, so I'm going to add the battery as well, the counter. Okay, that's enough. So this is data from that device. It's actual data from TTN. So basically we have a device that is in North Carolina right now, and it's sending data to TTN, and TTN is forwarding this data to TagoIO. And you can see the data here. So you can build multiple dashboards in here. You can choose between lots of widgets, as I'm showing you right now. And you can move, resize, you can share these dashboards. Basically, you can create whole IoT applications using our platform, not just showing data. Let's see here. I have a dashboard here already done for TTN, so for this device. This is just a simple dashboard that I created a few minutes earlier before the webinar, because I wanted to show you that we can display the location on the device. We can here we have the device battery. We have a few more status. This device sends a few variables, so I just added some here. We have, for example, here a widget showing the GPS fix. We have a GPS report, the counter, and we have here some charts showing the battery level over time, and just a table showing the raw data. So you can create dashboards like this. You can add multiple tabs to your dashboards. You can share these dashboards. And what it's nice that Fabio said before, everything that you create here is already in our mobile app. So if you download our mobile app for Android or iOS, you can log into your account and you'll see your dashboards there already. Okay, I'm going to show you now how to manage your data from TTN. So I'm going to device in here, and I'm going to work with this new device that I just added. So in here, when you create your device, I told you that it's possible to choose which variables that you want to save from TTN and which variables you want to ignore from them. So here, basically, this is done by configuration parameters. So basically, we have all the variables that come from TTN. If you see in here, we have a list of variables. What we do, we set some variables to come and to be saved at Tago by default. For example, counter. We say that we want to save that by default. Your device ID, we want to save that by default. But your application ID, we say that it's, that we don't want to save this because we want to save up space on your buckets and transactions. But let's say, no, I want this app ID to be saved from my device to be saved to Tago. You just have to come here and set this to true. So every variable that you set to true here is going to be saved to your application. Another interesting use is, for example, we have gateways that we have gateway information on your data. Let's say that your device is covered by more than one gateway. So you have like three or four, two or three gateways that are receiving data from your device. So you can get this data here to TagoIO as well. So let's say I want to know all the gateways IDs that are connected to my device. You just have to come here and set this to true. And of course, we have the timestamp and all the other variables. So basically, you can choose what variables you want to save from TTN or what variables you want to ignore from TTN. And if you're familiar to TTN, you know that they offer an option to parse your payload over there, and your payload is called payload fields. Your variables are called payload fields. So we set the payload fields by default to true. So every time that your device sends data, if you have a payload decoder over there, all your variables are going to be saved to Tago automatically. You don't have to create any kind of parse in here. So this is how you choose which variables you want to show to Tago, you want to save at Tago. It's possible to do a few other things in here in these configuration parameters. One of those is renaming your variables. Let's say we have a variable called counter in your application, and this variable from TTN is called counter as well, and you don't want their variables to be together. You want to separate them. You just need to type here, let's say counter underscore TTN, for example. So every time your device sends data, it's now going to be saved as counter underscore TTN, not just counter. Let's say that you want to change your payload. Let's say you need a variable called payload as well. You can say here payload underscore TTN or whatever it is you want. So basically, you can rename your variables from TTN as well. If you type here false, it's going to ignore. If you type anything else, if it's true, it's going to be the same name. If it's anything else, it's going to rename that variable. One more thing that I want to show you that uses the configuration. It doesn't actually use the configuration params, but I want to show you how to display data in a map, how to display a location from your device. Let me just go back to our documentation in here. Let's go to TTN, and here I have displaying location from TTN on a map. Let me open this in a new page. Okay. Basically, if you have latitude and longitude information on your variables, it's possible to display that information at Tago as in a map, as I showed you earlier. Tago expects a variable called location, a key called location that has lat and lng. If you have latitude and longitude on your variables, on your payload variables, the TTN integration between Tago already creates this. So basically, what you have to do, if you already have latitude and longitude or lat and lng on your payload fields, you don't have to do anything. We parse this information.
I think we had a technical problem. Just a second, and Roberto will be back. We can see your screen, Roberto.
Okay, I'm back here. So my Wi-Fi just disconnected. So basically what I was saying is that we expect a field called location on our variables to be displayed on a map. But if you have latitude and longitude or lat and LNG on your payload fields, you don't have to do anything. The integration between TTN and Tago already creates this location variable for you. So basically, let me show you back this dashboard again. Okay, here. Basically, when you have latitude and longitude on your variables, Tago creates a variable called location like this. So you just need to create a map and add this variable called location. If you add that, it's going to display your location on a map like this. And then you can personalize things like displaying images, adding URLs. You can create like geofences as well, and then all sorts of things. If you take a look at our documentation, we have a lot of things that you can do on our map widget. Okay, and I want to show you one last thing about the configuration parameters here. Just close this. Okay. One thing that we mentioned before, Fabio mentioned, and so did I, you can send data back to your devices. So let's say you want to send a message to your device to, I don't know when your device starts, to save a new configuration, or whatever need that you have to send messages. So what you can do, one thing is you can go to your device over here. Let's say this new device, and here to configuration parameters. You can come here and add the new parameter, and you call this parameter downlink. And here you type in the message that you want to send to your device. Let's say that's this message, and save. I don't know if you are familiar to how LoRa works, but you cannot send this message directly to your device. Your device will only read messages when they send message. So the next time your device sends message, it will wait a few seconds to see if there are any messages. So basically, you type in downlink over here and type in your message that you want to send to your device. And the next time your device sends data, it will request for this data. And when your data is sent to TTN, this is going to say save as yes. That's showing that this data has been sent to TTN, and it's awaiting device confirmation. So if you just do here no and save, your device will receive that data. You can create a dashboard to do that. You don't have to come here and, I want to type in let's say you have different messages that you want to create to send to your device, and let's say that you do that all the time. You don't have to come here every time. You can just create a dashboard input. You can click here. Let's say that I have to, let me add an input here. You can create a widget like this. Let's say I want to send 010101 to my device, and then basically this is not going to be sent automatically. You have to create an analysis. So basically, you can create an action, and you need to create an analysis. We have examples for that. If you ever need to do this, we can send you documentation and examples on how to do that. So basically, you can add multiple inputs like this, and just click here, send, and this data will be sent to your device next time your device asks for data. Okay, let's see. Okay, so basically, this is all we have for the integration. I showed you how to get data from your devices and how to send data back to your devices. And I showed you how to create dashboards. And here I showed you a dashboard already created with a map, and I think that's all. That's all we have for this webinar. Fabio, I'm going to go back to you so we can have a Q&A. I see that there are some questions over here.
So Roberto, you should report something about the documentation developer area. I think that's how.
Yes, of course. So basically, I'm going to show you how to get to our documentation. I think you already saw a few of these. You can, if you are a developer, you can see this option on the left menu. If you're not a developer, they are not going to show it for you. And you can also see this question mark on top. If you click here, you can search anything on our documentation. For example, here I will type payload, and you can see everything that we have on payloads and so on. Basically, let me show you the website. So TagoIO here. If you come here to TagoIO, we have a section called resources, and we have developers over here. Developers, we have our complete documentation. So you can see here the documentation for the API and the admin. And here we have the documentation on our SDK. Everything that you saw in here is possible. It's possible to make using our SDK. So let's say you want to create a dashboard every time a device is created. You can use our SDK and run an analysis that creates that dashboard. Here we have a few downloads. We have a launch guide. If you want to start with Tago, you can download this. Take a look at our best practice as well. And again, in resources, we have some videos. If you go here, we have a lot of videos showing you how to create dashboard, how to work with Tago's features. So basically, we have also previous webinars. These webinars will be posted here as well if you want to see it again. And we have a few training videos. So you can come here and take a look at all these videos. So if you need any help doing anything that you want, you can see that there is probably a video on how to do that. And you can also, if you don't see anything, you still need help, you can contact us over here. You just click here and you can open an issue, this a ticket, in fact. So, okay, anything else, Fabio, that we want to?
Yeah. So there is any question here from Ricardo about the integration.
Okay.
Is about if he needs to let me see here. Just okay. Does Tago replace all the configurations needed in the TTN cloud, or do we need to create a device and so on in TTN and also at Tago?
It doesn't override your TTN. You need to create your devices at TTN, and you need to import those devices at Tago the way I showed you. Tago is only the IoT platform. We are not the LoRa network, so you will need to use TTN to have your data, and TTN sending data to Tago. You cannot connect, if it's a LoRaWAN, you cannot connect directly to Tago. If it's MQTT or any other connection, you can connect it directly to Tago. But if it's LoRaWAN, you need a provider like TTN.
Yeah, I think the question was more related to the integration itself, like if he need to go one side and then the other side.
Oh, yeah.
If he can just create in one side and everything will be set. And by the way, we already answered him that he can always automate from Tago, like upload the CSV file with, let's say, 1,000 devices, and the system will create all the devices in the Tago side. But I think also he needs to go TTN and create. I don't know if he can automate at the TTN or not.
I don't know if TTN has access to their if they have an SDK or if they have REST API. If they do have a REST API, you can do that all using Tago. You can you can create a script that runs whenever you create a new device, and that script you can use to access TTN's REST API if they have that available. I don't know if they do. So basically, you can do that. I know other networks have that. I'm not sure about TTN.
Okay. And there are other, yeah, so he's asking what is the API usage? So
Yeah,
Ricardo just said, maybe you
as I
can
said, I
divulge
don't
it
know
real
if
quickly.
As I said, I don't know if TTN has an open API like that or REST API, but if they do, it's possible. At Tago, you can just look at our documentation. Everything is documented, and you can use our REST API. But I don't know about the TTN one.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
matter of taking a look and researching a little bit. I think if they have it open, it's very simple to do it.
Yeah, I think Ricardo, you always can automate from a Tago side. We really focus on make sure that the solution can be scalable. What we did here today was really showing how to go step by step manually, because that's what where people normally start from, right? They go there, they buy a hardware, they connect 1, 2, 10, and normally they go manually. But then going to business, they need to scale. Then the script area is where you can extract a lot of value by scaling this up. And we have a lot of documentation about that. Also, there are other comments from Michael Scriver related to how we can, about some ideas about the name. It's like a value of a parameter, and he was giving some suggestions. Told him that we for sure we are gonna consider it and see how you can improve the verbiage, make sure that's easier for everyone to understand.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. My connection just broke again.
Oh no, that's
Can you
fine. It was
retype your
just a
question?
comment.
Okay.
No, it
Okay.
was just a comment. Okay. Okay. So let us know if there is any other question or comment. Let's give it some seconds in case anybody else wants to comment anything. Okay, so it looks like there is no more question. So we really appreciate your time. Again, this webinar will be available online. We are going to send an email to everyone who attended and also for those who could not attend so they can watch the webinar later, and feel free to share this webinar with anyone. Also, we have a lot of information at Twitter. Feel free to get in the Twitter and follow us there because we are really releasing a lot of things, not only technically or feature, but also related to business. So you add a lot of value. Okay, so thank everyone. Thank you very much for your time, and let us know if you need any help building your solution. Have a great day. Thank you, Roberto.
Okay, just one more point here. I sent a link in here. It's for the TTN SDK documentation. Apparently, they have it. They have SDKs for Node.js, so it is possible to do this all Tago side. The only thing you need to do is once to create the integration.
Oh, nice. So that's good news for Ricardo, who was asking about that.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, thank you for your time, and I think that's all.
Thank you.